Lesson 33. There is another way of looking at the world. Today's idea is an attempt to recognize that you can shift your perception of the world in both its outer and inner aspects. A full 5 minutes should be devoted to the morning and evening applications. In these practice periods, the idea should be repeated as often as you find comfortable, though unhurried applications are essential. Alternate between surveying your outer and inner perceptions, but without an abrupt sense of shifting. Merely glance casually around the world you perceive as outside yourself, then close your eyes and survey your inner thoughts with equal casualness. Try to remain equally uninvolved in both, and to maintain this detachment as you repeat the idea throughout the day. The shorter exercise periods should be as frequent as possible. Specific applications of today's idea should also be made immediately when any situation arises which tempts you to become disturbed. For these applications, say, there is another way of looking at this. Remember to apply today's idea the instant you are aware of distress. It may be necessary to take a minute or so to sit quietly and repeat the idea to yourself several times. Closing your eyes will probably help in this form of application. There is another way of looking at the world. Your power lies in shifting your thinking and your perception. And when you can't do that easily, you can ask for divine help to do that. But you have to ask in order to get that help because you have free will. The inner shift is the level of cause, which leads to the outer shift, which is the level of effect. The inner transformation must precede any kind of external transformation. Remember, the Course is teaching us cause and effect. Cause is the level of thinking and perception, and the effect is whatever is produced as a result of our thinking and our perception. You cannot simply change on the external, on the level of the effects. You cannot simply change the situation. You might have temporary results, but there can be no actual real transformation because you're working on the level of the symptom, the effect. You must change at the causal level. Go to the root cause. Go right to the source of the issue to be corrected, which is what you're thinking about the situation, how you're perceiving the situation. We cannot have lasting and real transformation shifting the externals and just kind of manipulating the situation a little bit here and there because you're not going to the root cause. What you think about the situation and how you see the situation hasn't changed. You're just dealing with the effect. So that's how we get stuck in these patterns, these cycles of the same thing coming up and over and over and over for us again, is because we haven't gone to the level where the correction, the healing needs to take place. So we get stuck in those cycles and everything comes back up to give us another chance to heal it at the root cause. And then if we don't, it'll come up again with another person, another situation. So knowing this realization helps us to see where we're stuck and we're not addressing how we're thinking and seeing something, and then how to be liberated from that pattern. The Course says ultimately you will learn that there is nothing actually outside of you, and that nothing outside of yourself can save you or give you peace. The power is all yours. It's about how you think and how you see what is out there that determines how you experience what is out there. If you can remember to do this in a moment of distress, it says, there's another way of looking at this. You feel the distress, you know something's up, and you take a moment, you take a pause. The Course calls this the holy instant, where you take a moment and step back from the distress, step back from the craziness and say, there is another way of looking at this. And that's what the workbook is teaching us to do, is to step back, take that holy instant, take a moment to build the muscle of presence and to see that that is a place of power where we can actually correct the perception and the thinking that is leading us to the distress and shift it. There is another way of looking at the world. Now, in those moments when the distress is a lot, when it's really taking over us, is we're really triggered, we can ask for help. It's not all on us to be able to shift this because we're in it. We're in the world, in the physicality of the world. So, we've been hijacked here in this world. We've forgotten who we are, and we can ask for that help. It's available to us at any time to be able to shift into the correct position, to realign with love. So we ask for help. There is another way of looking at the situation. And in that holy instant, in that moment, we ask to see things differently. So we ask to see things from the level that is above where we are stuck. In the chaos, in the meaninglessness, in the overwhelm, in the fear, and the stress, we can't see from the lower level. The answers, the miracle is at the higher level. We ask for help, and then we are then lifted, elevated to that place of higher wisdom where we can see the bigger picture. We can gain clarity and understanding. As Wayne Dyer said in the book that he posthumously sent to me recently, I can see clearly now, in this moment, now, in the present moment, now, when I ask to be lifted to the place of higher understanding. I can see this differently. I can see clearly now. The miracle worker needs to remember their ability to ask to be elevated, to be lifted at any moment, to use their wings and find that you are lifted to the place of the miraculous where you can look at the world in a different way. You can see clearly. You find your wings and you are lifted. There is another way of looking at the world, one in which we see that it needs more love and that we as miracle workers claim our power as the ones who know a better and loving way, and we apply that love liberally in the world. We'll see you tomorrow.